Well, welcome everybody. Happy Thursday. I hope everyone is having a wonderful week so far. And welcome to Stories of a Colorful World's Author Conversations. I am Vanessa Mitchell, along with Kanika Mobley, and together we are the co-founders of Stories of a Colorful World. So Kanika and I took a brief hiatus, or maybe a little bit longer than a brief hiatus, from our authors' conversations, partly because of the holidays, but also because we just needed to recharge and always make sure that we're bringing you guys the best content. But we had to make sure we came back for a special episode because we have the honor of talking to three amazing young authors. But first, let me tell you about Stories of a Colorful World. So if you're new to us, we are an online children's bookstore, and we focus on carrying children's books that feature diverse images of Black, Indigenous people of color, written by authors of the same diverse groups. And so diversity in children's books is still lagging behind. And so we want to do our part to increase access to books that feature diverse characters, particularly Black and Brown characters. And so tonight we are super excited because we have with us three authors, Addison Gorder, Morgan Miller, and Matthew Miller. And we're also joined by Leah Hernandez, and Leah is the CEO and founder of Young Authors Publishing. So thank you guys for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having us and welcoming us to your platform. Happy to be here.
Great. Well, we're going to start with Leah because Leah is actually the one that introduced us to Addison, Morgan, and Matthew. And so, Leah, can you just maybe tell us a little bit about yourself and Young Authors Publishing?
Yeah, absolutely. So, hey, everybody. My name is Leah Hernandez. I am the founder and CEO of Young Authors Publishing, which is a publishing company I started at the age of 20 to be able to help other young people write and share their own story. I published my first book at 19, and I was very lost, very confused, and did not know the road and the process of publishing. And so I wanted to be able to help others do the same thing, specifically young Black and Brown kids, so that way we can have more diverse stories. So we're so blessed and have over 35 young authors published. And their books are sold globally on all book-selling platforms. And we're really excited for the diverse stories and content that they have to share with all of you.
Oh, well, thank you, because we love the stories. And once we got copies of the books, we know we needed to carry them in our bookstore. So I want to introduce or allow our young authors to introduce themselves. So if you guys can tell us your name, your age, and the name of your books. So we'll start with Addison.
Okay, hello. My name is Addison Gorder. I'm 12 years old, and the title of my book is Dinner Table Distractions.
Awesome.
Hello, my name is Morgan Miller. I am 14 years old, and my book is titled Pick a Job, Any Job.
Hi, my name is Matthew Miller, and I'm 11 years old, actually 12 in 2 weeks, but and my book is titled A Week with Papa.
Oh, well, welcome, guys. We're so happy to have you guys.
Matthew, I see you had to throw in that 12-year-old. I love it. I love it. So when I was 11, 12 years old, I was not 14 years old. I was not thinking about like being an author. So like, what was something that kind of like inspired you to create your books?
I would say something that inspired me was probably like from my own experiences. So my book is about a real life experience, and it inspired me because my grandpa, he actually passed in June of last year, and so I wanted to make this book about him, and that's.
What about you, Addison?
I always liked to write things, so When I was given the opportunity to write a book and become an author, I was glad to take that opportunity. So I guess that's what inspired me to write my book.
Cool. And you, Morgan?
Um, I just read a lot. Honestly, I read. Well, I've been reading a bunch of books ever since I was probably around 4 or 5 years old, and I was given the opportunity to write a book, and I got so excited because this is something that I love to do. I love to write. I love to read, and I just figured, it would be really fun. So I went for it.
I love it. Like Kanika said, I was not thinking about that at 11, 12, 14. I'm still not thinking about writing a book. So how did you guys get in contact with Young Authors Publishing? Like, how did that work out?
Hmm, so this was a while ago. Um, I remember our youth pastor at our church. She was the one who first was, really adamant because she knew us really well, and she was like, well, I know that this is something that they would have a lot of fun doing. So um, she introduced us to them first, and she was like, I think you guys should do it. I think that you have a really fun time. So
Addison, how did you get connected to Young Authors Publishing?
I was also connected to you guys through my church and our youth pastor, and she gave me the opportunity to write a book. So I did.
I love it. You guys saw an opportunity and jumped on it.
So why don't just so the listeners can know a little bit about your books. So can you tell us just a little bit about your book? So I guess Matthew, go ahead and get started.
Well, my book is about a week with my grandfather, and like I said, it's based on a real life experience. So, I went down there. It was my first time actually going by myself, and my parents and my sister, they all had other stuff that they had to do. So they were like, okay, well, why not spend the week with your grandpa? And so they dropped me off in Augusta, Georgia, where he lived. And it's just about my experience there and what I did.
Nice. I love that. My family is from Augusta, Georgia, so we might be related. And what about you, Morgan? Tell us a little bit about your book.
Yeah, I think. So when I had to come up with a topic to write about, I had no idea what I was going to write about, and my mom kept suggesting things because she's worked with kids. She does read aloud, something she's done for probably 15 plus years. And so she was like, well, they love fantasy. They love anything that's really cool, really awesome, it's something to speak to little kids. And I was still lost. So I just went with something that I'm really passionate about, which is, if I know a lot of people who have jobs that they don't really love to do. And if I don't love to do something, then I probably wouldn't do it, but they don't really have that option. So it was mostly about trying to prove to people that you can do whatever you want to do as long as it makes you happy. So this was something that was just really fun and exciting and something that could speak to people of all ages. It's about doing what you love.
And for my book, it's about like spending time with your family. I always like to cook and spend time with my family, and we do that very often. So I thought it'd be fun to write a book about that and let people know how important it is to spend time with your family. Then I thought that would be something good for people to know.
I love that. It's actually all topics that are relevant even to us grown-ups. I remember reading Dinner at the Dinner Table Distractions. And I was thinking when I'm with my family and everyone's on their phone and no one's actually talking to everyone, that sometimes we just need to put the phone down and actually have conversations. So I love that. So what was it like writing a book? Like, did you know how to get started? Did you know how to get your ideas on paper?
Okay, well, for me, it was just, I mean, at first, yeah, I kind of was like, what do I do? Because I've never, had this experience before, so it was new to me, and I was just like, okay, well, let me come up with something that is special to me, and so I just, it was very fun though. Once I really got the flow of it and I got the hang of it, it started to be really fun because I was writing about something that I was passionate about, and I think it really helped once I got along.
Good. What about you, Morgan? Was it easy to write your ideas down on paper once you kind of figured out what you wanted to write about?
Um, and, I think for me, being a person who loves to read and write, it was easy for me to kind of like get the basic storyline together, and then throwing in little details was just like the cherry on top, or the icing on the cake. And for all our workshop meetings, getting to write the storyline and all the different details that we wanted to include with each character. I know we had people who would help us. They would meet with us, I think twice a week, if I'm not mistaken. And we would just work on a storyline and we would bounce different ideas off of each other. And I will never forget it because my writing mentor, she really helped me a lot, and she was really chill and easygoing. And it was just really fun and comfortable to get started with it, and to the point where once we finished, I was like, oh, we're done. Oh, okay. Great. No, but I had a lot of fun with it. It was really comfortable and easygoing.
Good.
Once, sorry. It was a very fun experience, I thought. It wasn't too difficult to come up with an idea, in my opinion, but once I got the hang of things, it was pretty easy to keep going with it and keep coming up with ideas. And I thought that it was very fun to come up with different ideas for illustrations. That was really fun. But overall, it was a great experience. And I thought it was really fun.
Very cool.
Awesome. So I know Morgan said that she loves to read. So it was something that kind of like came naturally to her. But Matthew and Addison, do you guys love to read as well?
Yes, I do love to read. I read a variety of different things. But now, especially, I'm reading more because in relation to my school, we read a book every month, and we have to take a quiz on it. But it's very interesting to pick new books. So yes, I do like to read.
Is there one that's been your favorite?
One that I really enjoyed. I'm not sure if it's a very popular book, but it was called Holes. I forgot the author though, but I thought that was very interesting.
Absolutely, I know that one. What about you, Matthew?
I'm gonna be completely honest with this. I I do read. It's just if it's not a good book, I probably won't read it. Like, it has to be a good book for me to read it. Like, I won't just read anything. So I do read. It's just, it has to be a good book for me.
Well, is there anyone that you've like really connected with and that you really enjoy?
Oh God, this is a tough one. I think I enjoyed The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. I think it was a really good book, and this only one, but it's one of my favorites. And I think that was one of my favorites.
That's just one so far.
Yeah.
You have plenty of time to have more favorites. What about you, Morgan?
So I have like a favorite of every genre of book. I'd say the only genre of book that I don't really read is nonfiction, but then again, I don't dislike it at all. I just don't really like it much. So I mean, I have a bunch.
What about top 3?
Okay, let's see. I like Circus Mirandus. That's a really fun one. I was a huge fan of the Dork Diary series and Diary of the Wimpy Kid series. Those are 2 all-time favorite book series for me.
Awesome.
So good. That's so good. So I think, Addison, you were talking about working with the illustrators. So how did you decide what you wanted your characters to look like or be like or talk like?
At first I wasn't quite sure, but so I wrote like the transcript first, and then we came up with the image ideas. But for the character wise, I wanted to be somebody who represented me, and based off of the transcript in the book, I came up with different scenes for the different pages. It was kind of tricky, but also at the same time not.
I guess you got to be super creative too.
Yes.
Yeah. What about you, Morgan? How'd you figure out what you wanted your characters to look like?
So I wanted it to, I kept both the main character and his father, I kept them really generic, leaving it up to creative interpretation for the illustrator, because I just trusted her. I knew that she would do a really good job with whatever route she chose to go down. So yeah, it was really simple. It was like, I want him to have like a baseball cap and shorts. It's just something along the lines of that, and I'll be fine. But the one character that had a lot of detail to them was the museum tour guide, KJ. And KJ she was based off of my writing mentor, because I wanted to include her in it as well, because she was such a huge influence in the making of the book. So she's based off of my writing mentor.
Oh, wow. That's special. That's very special. What about you, Matthew?
Well, for me, it was kind of easier because, I'd already been through the experience. So I mean, of course I had to, kind of interpret different things in a different way. And I think it was mainly easy for me. I think it was fun, like creating the different scenes, and the rest, yes, was up to the illustrator. I was like, okay, I want the shirt to be like this, could it be like this? And I think it turned out really
I love that you
Good.
gave kind of feedback to the illustrator to make sure that it's what you wanted. So I guess thinking about those, like, what does it mean to you to have a book with, or create a book with characters that look like you?
I think I think it's really inspiring because, there may not be as many characters in books that, look like me. And I think it was good to be able to tell other people, and kind of just inspire other people to, you can do this. People who look like us, you are able to do it. And I think it felt good for me.
So inspiring. What about for you, Morgan?
Me, mostly, I can think of a handful of children's books that I read with African American characters in them, or just people of color in general, but not very many. So it was a really rewarding experience for me. But it was more so just implied in all the books that I read. Like, you could apply yourself to this scenario, but it was never explicitly stated. So it felt good to get that out there.
I think that it was very inspiring and important that I wrote a book with characters that resembled me and other African Americans because it's there aren't there are some, like Morgan and Matthew said, there aren't many books that may include characters that look like other African Americans. So I think it tells other people that look like me that they can write books too, and that they are important, and that they can do things too.
I love that. Kanika and I, we talk about one of the reasons why we started this bookstore is because we thought about our experience trying to find children's books when we were kids, the characters that look like us. And it wasn't always the easiest. Maybe there were a few, just like you guys are saying, but we didn't have a whole lot. So I think it's wonderful to have children actually putting out children's books. I think that really will touch some kids and maybe inspire them too to be authors. So what was the best part? What was the best part of the whole process of becoming an author?
I think that the best part of it was finally receiving it and having it published. I thought that was very exciting because it was like a reward because I had done all this hard work and I finally got it. So I think that was the best part.
I think the best part was actually the experience because I think going through it, I learned new things, and like now I know if I want to write another book in the future, I know how to go through it, and I can have fun with it and not just be like, oh my God, okay, I have to do this and this and this and this. And so, I can actually enjoy it. And I think the best part was the experience.
I know for me, I really enjoyed the process of it. Like Matthew said, sort of the experience of being able to write a book and go through all these different steps that they have in place, come up with a storyline and then think of details and then improve the story and, build on all your ideas. It was really fun. And for my book in particular, I like the research of it because it's kind of a wacky book. I had to think of all kinds of unconventional jobs that would appeal to children. So we literally spent like probably 3 hours Googling like weird unconventional jobs. And that's how you get things like professional sleeper and scuba diving pizza delivery man. So yeah, I really enjoyed that part. But
You all are so inspiring and really talk about like the process. And so for maybe another young person who thinks, well, I can't be an author. I'm too young. Like, what advice would you give them?
I would say that they most definitely can write a book. There is a process that you have to go through, um, and you will have help along the way to do so. But most definitely that you can write a book no matter how old you are, I think. Um, yeah, that you can do it.
yeah, I mean, just if you want to do it, then go for it. I mean, no one is gonna stop you. You do whatever it is you want. If you want to write a book, then you write a book.
Yeah, basically what Addison and Morgan just said. I think but you also, I'm just gonna add this. You also, if you want to write a book, you have to be willing, to put the work in, and it's not like a hard thing. Like it doesn't have to be, specific and all about this, but just have fun with the process. I would say, it's a fun experience. I would say, yeah, like both of them said, you can do it. Doesn't matter how old you are. Just go for it.
Oh, that's awesome. So I don't know very many authors, right? So what do your family and friends think about the fact that you guys now have books out there for sale?
I think that they're very proud of me that I was able to write a book and very happy for me. Yeah.
Did your friends think it was cool?
Oh, yes, they did. They thought it was very cool.
Yeah, I mean, I I remember I told my family first while we were still like in the process of writing, or maybe just finishing up the whole writing process and moving it forward for illustrations, and they were all pretty happy for me, for both of us. Actually, just the fact that you were able to write a book within itself at this age is incredible. And I I just recently told my friends because I didn't want to tell them while the books weren't really out and available yet. So I I, I just told them, and they were all just really happy for me and excited and surprised, and just overall it was really good feedback I got from them and from my family.
Yeah, it's the same for me. They were very proud. They're really excited. All of, they all just were buying books. And I was like, well, thank you. And they were all really proud and excited that we both wrote a book.
That's amazing. Two authors in the house. I mean, superstars. That is absolutely fantastic. So you guys talked about kind of having some ideas. Morgan, you said, oh, you couldn't imagine like the process ending. Do you have more ideas for other books that you think you might want to create in the future?
I think there are just too many for me to really pick one. I mean, I know I would have a blast writing anything, as long as it was something that I like to do, something that I enjoyed, topic that I liked. But I mean, whether it be for little kids or maybe kids closer to my age, I would just have a really fun time writing just about anything. So.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. I don't really know what it would be about, but I just think I would enjoy the process and doing it again. Kind of like Morgan said, it wouldn't matter, like what kind of book it is, or, who the audience may be targeted toward to. I just would have a fun time writing the book and going through the experience of it. And
Sorry, I definitely have a couple other ideas. I also think it would be very fun to go through the whole experience again. I just think it'll be very fun to do the whole thing again and come up with new ideas and inspire more people.
I love that. And you guys are so young writing books. I can just imagine where you're going to be just a few years from now and into the future. So we're going to keep an eye out for what Addison, Morgan, and Matthew got going on as they get older. We're definitely going to keep a watch out for you guys. So Leah, how do you connect with the kids and help them through the process of writing and publishing a children's book?
Yeah, it's a great question. So they mentioned that their youth pastor is the one who gave this opportunity to them. And that's because the way our model works is we work with community partners, whether it's after school programs, schools, and other non-for-profits who are already working with our target demographic. And so we have a writing curriculum. And once they're signed on as a community partner, we let them know how many students we can publish. We then pair them with writing mentors. So all of the mentors that they were talking about throughout the interview, those are actually college students of color that we're trying to get in the pipeline in the publishing industry. And so in addition to helping young authors write their book, and by the way, you guys, Matthew and Morgan, your books were sent out to your writing mentors this week, and I was reading the emails and they can't wait to read them and to finally hold them in their hand. But our writing mentors actually communicate with their illustrators, their designers, their editors, and so they get real experience in the publishing industry that will allow them to apply for more publishing opportunities, more employment, which is, believe it or not, there are a lot of barriers to entry in this space, which is why we don't see a lot of diverse books now. And so none of this work would be possible without our community partners, which we're so grateful for. These authors come from Ebenezer Baptist Church, who has been a community partner with us for the past 2 years. And in addition to our experience program, where we help them write their book, we also have submissions open year round. So if there are any young people watching this, any young authors who are interested in writing, let's say maybe you already have a book complete, feel free to go to our website, youngauthorspublishing.org, go to the submissions tab, and you can submit your story to get published with us.
That's amazing. Are you continuing to look for additional community partners as well?
Absolutely, yeah. So we actually pushed back our experience program. Instead of taking place in the spring, which is when it usually is, we pushed it to the summer. And so we do have applications for community partners that are open now. If you're interested, just head to our website and sign up for our newsletter, because we'll be sending out more information about that soon.
Awesome. And we will definitely make sure we connect that information in the comments and make sure people know how to stay connected with you all. So, oh, go ahead, Vanessa.
No, I was just going to ask you guys, is there anything else that you want for Addison, Morgan, and Matthew? Is there anything that you want your readers to know about your book, why they should get your book, why your book is special?
If people choose to buy my book, I just want them to read it and understand that it's very important to spend time with your family and interact with them during dinner if possible. And thank you if people choose to buy my book, and I hope that people really enjoy it and that they just like it, and yeah.
What about you, Matthew?
I would also just want people to have a good experience reading it. and I would hope they enjoy it, like Addison said, and just really have an experience. And like I said earlier, not just read it, but, understand it and kind of grasp what it means. Because I think it's a really important message.
And for me, just, I hope that if nothing else, you understand the concept and theme of it. Like, you do you, whatever you want, go for it. And I hope that it works out for you. And to anyone watching who would like to buy my book or our books, all of us, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And even if you don't, if you were just interested, thank you for taking the time to listen and watch us talk about this.
I love that. And we are going to make sure that they buy that book and support you guys, because you guys did so much amazing work. And so thank you so much for putting just like we tell like all of our authors, thank you for putting your baby out there in the world, because it's such important work. It's such important work. And so how can people stay connected with you guys to see like all the interesting things that you're doing?
I started an Instagram page. I posted a couple things on there. If you would like to check it out, it's at Addison Gorder 27. Thank you.
Okay. We both have Instagram pages, me and my brother. I'm at Miss Morgan M, and I gotta be honest with you guys. I don't run it. It's my mom. she's our manager. She takes care of everything. Not even gonna lie, but yeah, no, she will keep you all up to date.
Absolutely.
Let you all know what's going on, what's happening. But yes, thank you to Mom. We appreciate all you do for us.
Thank you so much. Okay, you can also follow my Instagram, Matt_the_maestro. And I just, have a couple of posts about my book and about me.
I love it. And Leah, how can people stay connected with and learn more about Young Authors Publishing?
Yeah, so head over to our website, youngauthorspublishing.org. There's going to be a pop-up that'll ask you for your email. Please put out so that way we can send curated content specifically for you, whether you're a teacher, librarian, author who wants to get published, parent who has questions. So the easiest way to just stay connected with all of the good stuff that we're doing is to sign up for our newsletter. And then you can follow us on social at Young Authors Publishing on all platforms.
Thank you so much. We are so grateful for all of you guys for joining us tonight. And we want to make sure, thank you, Addison, and make sure that you check out her book, Dinner Table Distractions, Morgan's book, Pick a Job, Any Job, and Matthew's book, A Week with Papa. So we want to make sure that you all go out and get those books. Thank you so much, guys. You guys were so inspiring. There are some adult authors that cannot talk about their books in the way that you did. And so I am in awe of the three of you and cannot wait to see all the things that you do in this world. And thank you for everybody that tuned in tonight. And to also rewatch this conversation or hear some of our other conversations, you can check out our Stories of a Colorful World YouTube page. And you can also visit www.storiesofacolorfulworld.com to purchase some of these books by these young authors. You can join our newsletter. You can find out about new releases or places that will be popping up. And so this weekend, this Saturday, Vanessa is going to be at the Atlanta Indie Market from 12 to 7. And that's going to be at 1080 Donald Lee Hollowell Parkway in Atlanta. And then I'll be at a Black Wall Street event at the Kennedy Center, 429 John F. Kennedy Way in Willingboro, New Jersey. And so we are excited. If you are in those areas, please come out. Please check us out. You can also find some of these young authors' books or on our site. So again, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. And we look forward to seeing everybody in the future.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.